Welcome to our amazing journey in Mexico City. Join our family as we explore beautiful landmarks, eat delicious food, hang out with family, and have fun. Maybe one day you can visit. We had a late night flight from LAX, so we were really tired. When we landed in Mexico City, a worker allowed me to take a look at the Popocatépetl volcano that was smoking. It was 5:30 in the morning and we were exhausted, but so happy to finally have landed. My cousin and uncle picked us up from the airport. They took us out for breakfast to a very iconic place that I will show you very shortly. What do you want to have for breakfast? Emily decía que chilaquiles.
Chilaquiles pintojal.
Before we had breakfast at the restaurant, we took a stroll around downtown to build up an appetite. And because it was early, there were not many people walking around. And here's the restaurant I promised to show you. The Casa de los Azulejos is an 18th century Baroque palace. The building is covered on three sides by blue and white colonial tiles from Puebla State. It now serves as the flagship restaurant of the Sanborns chain, and we're gonna eat breakfast here. Me got me some huevos divorciados. We then came home for a well-deserved 4-hour nap, and later that evening we went to have dinner at a place called Don Asado on Avenida Insurgentes. We're gonna go to Xochimilco right now. We're excited.
I'm so excited.
There are many ports in Xochimilco, and this guy on a bicycle took us to one of the ports that he recommended for free because he worked for one of the municipalities. Now remember, there's nothing for free in life. So make sure you subscribe to the channel because I'm gonna make a different video and it will point out things to avoid if you ever make it to Xochimilco. But right now, let's just focus on the fun. Make sure you always have money on you because the bathrooms always charge in Mexico. We got into our trajinera and off we went.
Mira, propiedades del pulque.
If you have kids on the trajinera, please make sure they don't have their fingers or hands out because the trajinera will hit another one and people can get seriously injured. You can also bring your own food, sandwiches, drinks, music, or not. Everything will be available right next to you.
Gracias. Deme.
Puede ser asado, cocido o de vasito.
Okay, I'll have one.
Deme, you want one?
Un poquito de quesito picante. Give this to mommy.
And what seemed to be a very calm ride, all of a sudden got super crowded. So always make sure that, if you have glasses or bottles of some sort or food on your trajinera, keep an eye because look how crowded it got, and as I mentioned before, you will bump into other ones. If you're in Mexico City for a few days and you're trying to figure out what to do, I think Xochimilco is a must.
Es el embarcadero. No es voladero, es embarcadero. ¿Qué quieres?
Pa.
Every time I go to Mexico City, I must visit the neighborhood of Coyoacán. I have a lot of memories and it's one of my favorite places in the city. We had a late start that day, so we didn't get there as early as I wanted to. Also, I prefer to go on the weekends, but because of the things that we were doing before, we made it there on a Monday night. We went to the Artesani Market, which I highly recommend to check out because they have amazing stuff in there. We then walked to a very popular place that specializes in coffee drinks, pastries, and tortas. It's called Café Jarocho. And if you have a sweet tooth, don't you worry. There are lots of places to choose sweets from. One of the things that I love about Mexico is that kids can be kids. Something that I miss is going to the plaza and then just doing whatever. Like we just did here. We got some firecrackers or whatever they're called, and we just did that for like an hour. So much fun. And on our way home, we got some tacos al pastor. The next day, my cousin and her family made us some steak with pasta, which was delicious. We spent some time with the family, said our goodbyes, and off we went to see my dad and my sister on the other side of the city. And didn't waste time. The next day, we went to the pyramids of Teotihuacan. Before we got to the pyramids, we hired a guide that explained us about the history, how they dyed fabrics. Got to see replicas of artifacts from that time. We also had a tasting. I've been to the pyramids many years ago, but I forgot how magical this place is. The energy is something you can't deny if you're in this place. The holy city of Teotihuacan, the place where the gods were created, is situated some 50 kilometers northeast of Mexico City. Built between the 1st and 7th centuries AD, it is characterized by the vast size of its monuments, in particular the Temple of Quetzalcoatl and the pyramids of the sun and the moon, laid out on geometric and symbolic principles. Is one of the most powerful cultural centers in Mesoamerica. After the pyramids, we drove for about 10 minutes to get to a pueblo mágico so we could eat. The next day we went to an amazing place in Tepoztlán. It's an aqueduct called Arcos del Sitio. It's outside Mexico City, so the air was very clean and fresh. We didn't go on a weekend, so it wasn't busy. Plenty of parking places. You do have to pay to get in. They have places where you can rent cabins, have bonfires, and of course, eat. We ate some tacos. There were some street dogs standing next to us. And even though it might be better not to feed them, to keep them away from restaurants, how can you not? They're hungry. And look how cute he is. After eating off to the aqueduct, with 56 arches on 4 levels, it is considered the tallest in Latin America. With 209 feet with 11 inches in height, it's such a beautiful structure with incredible views. Once you get across, the adventure is not over. You can go towards a hanging bridge. Arcos del Sitio is a very peaceful place to visit, a great contrast to Mexico City. I highly recommend it. We drove back to Tepoztlán and found a place to eat. I wish we had more time to spend there, but the following day we had something very important to attend to. My sister's college graduation party. It was one of the most fun parties ever. They definitely know how to party in Mexico. The next day we went to eat my number one mostest favorite meal in the history of my life, barbacoa de borrego. When I go to Mexico, I have to eat barbacoa. And then we spend the rest of the day relaxing and hanging out with the family and preparing for our return back home to Los Angeles. I truly hope that you enjoy this trip to Mexico with us. We had a lot of fun during our visit and can't wait to go back and bring you along. Muchas gracias.